January 22, 2024. Marcus Giovanni here. SideCar Public Relations. They got a lot to do with the downtown Denver partnership. And these people are so unoriginal, and they, in my opinion, plagiarize so many things. And it's good because we've indexed them for at least the last 4 elections. And it's very simple. I mean, I won't get into that. Anyways, so here's SideCar 2 weeks ago. Boom. See, they're upside down. This is mine. Right here when I was in New York. That's when Mayor Hancock was still the government. And so what's basically happening is we built denverpartner.com. And so, and that's the name of that story. But isn't that amazing? Look, all upside down, unoriginal. And I can tell you 100%, folks, 100%. that they saw this. 100%. That's how I know they saw it. But I waited for a few weeks to let them all talk and bloviate and smack each other on the ass and go to Facebook and, Facebook. Oh, I thought Facebook was X. No, is that Twitter is X? No, that's Threads. No, that's a Meta. No. You see that foolishness, folks? It ain't gonna work no more. Foolish works by foolish people. And so when you understand the whole 17 years of me being here in Denver and indexing Denver the whole entire time, but the elections became official because I was a candidate. And then I took all the words of all the medias and how they put that, oh, we're the honest, we're number one. We're here for the citizens, or we are all Denver. Well, we pattern match that for the last 13 years, and it isn't we are all Denver. It's party first. And Andrew Luxon, Denver district judge, who was a district attorney, I used his meta tags to build my meta descriptions in my complaints against Paul Lopez and his corrupt office and his corrupt minions, every one of them, man. Because at this point, they all know. I heard they were all high-fiving when Judge Luxon concurred and ruled in favor of Assistant City Attorney Michelle Horn in that corrupt Kerry Tipper organization that goes after people that stand up for themselves when no one else has any balls to. And we're talking Denver police, the sheriffs, all the 501(c)(3)s that pretend that they're here for the citizens, and yet parents, fathers are losing their kids by the hands of Karen Huber. It was Elizabeth Lay and Judge Hood. I mean, this paper trail's bought and it's digitized. So if none of these judges know what that meant, you better find an honest IT guy and let them find out what this means, because now all your voices are pattern matched to your actions. Just because you're a judge, there's no law that you can pass that's gonna keep AI off your tails, off of all of our tails. These aren't threats. This is factoid, man. Not the Democrats or Republicans. No, here's the facts. Right now, both of those parties, and then any other new parties that are the flunkies of other parties that want something done because their ways weren't getting answered when it should be everybody's ways, that's AI. And eventually AI is going to pattern match and index us like a Dewey Decimal System. I call it, in my metaverse, the Edoclad Project. Go to edoclad.com, and these are things, folks, that I'm an old man. What the fuck am I going to do with this stuff? I'm 64 years old. And everybody thinks old man can't do shit. When the older you are, the more authority you have over others that are telling you that you're too old. Because it's your meta tags that make up all your meta experiences. And what you're watching is a dehumanization of an office of the President of the United States by people that really, I gotta just tell you like it is. I hope you're ready. Don't like America at all. They want to see it turn upside down, and yet they want to be the ones with all the money. Ain't happening. You heard me? I spent 17 years of my life living in this hellhole we call Denver. And now it's an illegitimate government, and they don't know. And it's not going to hit until they all come out of the closet, till all those amoebas start crawling out from the wood floors and all the other bullshit that spews from these administrators' mouths. It's all indexed. Denver Partnership, all their bullshit about all they did. You go down Denver, my office is down there. They can't say. I got one of the best offices down there. So our office is bitching. and it's a bunch of other people's offices too. And it's a beautiful working ecosystem. That's their words, right? So what we have done, Tammy Dorr, remember her? She bailed, took her, and she took the that garden show with her to Utah, and yet she's still here. Yet they're all still manipulators. And see, we know all of them, folks. And when private investigators that are investigating real estate frauds in all, I mean, I didn't even know there was so many. And that title lock thing, folks, you're smarter than that. Don't let some criminal come on. There's a criminal pushing, touting the title lock. Like someone could just go get your title and then go put it in their name. You know, and there's nothing they could do about it. Yeah, they're talking about some other guy. Because if your house got stolen from you, okay, and you own the house, believe me, the Treasury Department would be all over, the Secret Services. You wouldn't believe what all these people do in their organizations and how all their voices are all pattern matched. So what it could be, the future of the metaverse for the city and county of Denver, which it could have went to another city. And in their city, if there's another Denver and they're doing exactly what we brag about, well, the government, which they're illegitimate, and I knew this back in 2011. Well, I knew it sooner than that, but I adjusted my content for that. And then what I did is I used artificial intelligence to give me the top 10, top 20, top 30, 3 pages of Google search of what a candidate would say to run for mayor. And give me the current candidates' conversations. This is what you can ask this AI to do. That's why they call it the computer god. That came out with 1992 Black Sabbath, Dehumanizer album, what we're living through today, what I was living through back then, and many other people. And, I died a long time ago, folks. And I think about all the media and the men and the women and all them people that fucked my dad's head up. A good guy. A white dude from Brooklyn, New York, adopted 7 children. He was a staff sergeant at Luke Air Force Base. White dude. Very strict Irish Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic, man. We're not talking about all these other spin-off Catholics. I'm talking Roman Catholic. I was adopted through the Roman Catholic Charities, social services. So, when I tell you that I came from somebody with real good family, I did. And anyone who tells you not, it's not true. And that's just what they do to me. And I don't care. I don't fight nothing that I don't know. And when you try to go talk to the police, let me tell you about that, folks. And I have friends that are policemen and sheriffs. My whole entire life, I grew up with police and sheriffs. My dad had police and sheriff watching me at my concerts when I do concerts, and it was crazy for me. It was crazy. And I didn't find this out till later on, but it caused me problems. It caused me big problems. So, with the street people, but then they realized they came over. Certain people were asking questions. I come on my house, man. Meet my dad. You'll see. You're gonna meet my dad. My dad had no idea who he was meeting. That's how good my dad is. But unfortunately, my dad knew everything. But my dad wasn't a snitch. My dad, no snitching. He's from Brooklyn, man. And he's the one that told me about, I'm going to just tell you the truth, folks. Snitches get stitches. Unless a person's involving you in something you had no idea what you were doing, therefore that term doesn't fit on you. And go protect yourself. Where's my dad? 6'4", Irish, Golden Glove boxer, Korean War or Korean conflict. He said, don't call it a war, it was a conflict. Conflict! Yes, Father. So what I've done over these years, because I try to go do things if it wasn't for me, folks. And the Karen Hubler, who's the epitome of slippery, who's messed up so many children's, so many fathers and mothers. I was always thinking that, well, and the thing about it is, when you think about the single mom movement, they hate men. The majority of them, I know, I interviewed them, I've talked to them when I'm and if anybody doesn't think I walked up with people, strange people that I don't know, and I just start talking, I've been like that since I was little. And my parents, I was a free-range child, folks. I'm Central American Indian. I'd go on walks at 3 years old, barely walking. And they'd find me a mile away from my house. And that's why my dad always had the police looking for me. Because I'm chronic ADHD. I wake up and it's like groundhogs every day. I got to remember everything else that I did. On certain things. That's why for me, if I was mayor, I would have had 100 handlers, and I would have kept them all busy, keeping me busy, on time, on point. I don't mind. Yeah, do I got to go? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Where do I got to go? Okay, sir, I'll go over there. Yeah, ma'am, I got to do that? Okay. There's no ego here. I lost that a long time ago, folks. All right? When you become dehumanized, accused of a crime you didn't commit, and then all those roaches come out of the closet, and then the Sabaho cop, depending on who it is, if you have a girl that's beautiful, and even unattractive women, I've seen it with some friends of mine. Because when I look at the Sabaho cop that pulled up, I doubt he's ever been laid. Okay, ever. And that's hard to believe, and I'm not making fun of somebody, but did you know there's people that's never had sex? Did you know there's people that never had a hug? Never had a hug. And those are most of the people that never had a hug, folks. There's movie stars that parents never gave them affection. Never hugged them. Never said they loved them. Did you know that? But see, I'd rather live like that and know than to be adopted and then be thrown out because I embarrassed my mom. That's what happened. I beat up a bully at my school at 4,000 students. How many people went to school that had 4,000 students? So when I hear Michael Hancock and not that these schools are bad here locally, because my kids went to them, The administrators are bad. And they're using the children as pawns to go do their dirty deeds so they can tell everybody they're helping everybody. Those days are over. We just need them all to come out of the closet. So it's going to be the same. But when you see this, see, they came out of the closet. See, the guy can't, you know what I mean? There's a difference. You're either right side up doing the right thing or you're upside down doing the wrong thing. And that's what SideCar public relations is all about, in my opinion. And also artificial intelligence. Because with AI, you can't bullshit it. You hear me, SideCar? And so every time you try to go blow your nose, man, we know. Every time you all talk, we know. Because that's AI. And we don't ever have to worry about writing any content. This was it. And so, if this was, let's just say it was coincidence. Because in my life, everything is almost coincidence. And law enforcement don't believe in coincidences. And they might be true to that. But see, the truth is, it might not be the underlying individual or entity that you're going after that's the bad guy. It's probably the people that are making the report, but you don't know their background or what they do or how they are, and you never get the other person's side. And when you do get their side, I mean, this is Denver 101, folks. And it's all controlled by Karen Hoover. And so what happened is just like everybody else, when I Google search for an attorney and they're on Google and they tell people they're the father of rights and we're here to protect you and tell us your story and all this, and you go and you tell them, and then they deny you and you go, what, why? Look at their education. If they're part of Stern law, back away, man. They don't know it yet because we haven't hit that. I mean, they are 17 years behind the 8 ball, man. Or the crystal ball. Mine's right side up. Theirs is upside down. That's SideCar. SideCar public relations. We just indexed all of them. And we use all their social channels everywhere, all their LinkedIn, everything they have, all their followers. We did that a long time ago, folks. Because they're part of the Denver Downtown Partnership. And you look at these people that are 30 years old and they think they're going to outrank me. I doubt it.